Welcome to the Predictive Powwow. My name is Jeff Bounds, and we're so excited here at Predictive HR every single week to be bringing you great information to be able to help you streamline your experience with software, more importantly, HR software. And we also try to highlight our experts. So UKG is one of the software companies that we do represent here at Predictive HR, and we have a whole team of UKG champions. And I'm super excited today, actually, to have on the Predictive Powwow Kyle Gatz. And I got to tell you, Kyle is somebody you definitely need to know about. And it's somebody that if you're out there thinking right now of selecting a partner, and it's just funny, we had a webinar early this week around framework for migrations. And it was a great webinar. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out in our feed. But a question from one of the attendees was like, how do you know how to, select the proper partner? And for me, at the end of the day, really every partner, there's a couple commonalities that they all have, but the one differentiator that we have here at Predictive HR is the quality of our people. And I got to tell you, Kyle and I were just actually chatting about this before we jumped on, and we have the most engaged team of consultants, project managers, and just overall the synergy that we have here at Predictive HR makes us very unique. And what I've heard from our clients is really the same thing. They've been blown away at the level of engagement we've been able to provide. So with that being said, Kyle Gatz, everybody, he's been with Predictive HR now for quite some time. He's been making a huge impact. And I just want to highlight a little bit before I have him introduce himself and tell everybody a little bit about his background. Is Kyle is, four aspects of him is a UKG champion. So number one, UKG Pro Talent Acquisition. Number two, UKG Pro Talent. Number three, UKG Pro Learning. And then number four, UKG Employee Voice. So welcome to the Predictive Powwow, Kyle. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me. Yeah, so my background, previously before coming to Predictive HR, I was in a behavioral healthcare organization for 9 years. I started as a staffing supervisor, so a lot of scheduling, approving time cards, and that was done in Kronos Workforce Central. So that's really where I got my start in, our Kronos experience. And then I transferred into the HR department, primarily responsible for recruiting and onboarding responsibilities, getting our new hires lined up for orientation, inputting all their information into Kronos. Then I later moved into a staff developer position. So my responsibilities were trainings and learning management system, being the point person for orientation. And during that time, we upgraded to UKG. So the UKG upgrades to dimensions and timekeeping and everything else in HR. And my responsibilities during the implementation project were HR, a little bit of timekeeping, and primarily recruiting, onboarding, and performance. So those talent modules. And the biggest thing that I learned and I really appreciated from my time during that implementation was working with those consultants and getting our goals done and working through our pains and our challenges and just building and developing those professional relationships with them. And it made me start thinking about that's something that I can do on the flip side. I want to be on the consultant side instead of the client or the customer side. So I started looking at jobs, looking elsewhere, and I came along Predictive HR, and they had an opening for a talent and benefit consultant. So my experiences with those modules and with UKG primarily kind of fit. So, that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm still continuing to love it here.
Yeah, I love that. And what's really, I guess, close to heart for me around that is I believe personally that in a journey of whatever you're doing, and especially, an advisor or consultant, a lot of it sometimes could be theory based. It could be, they always call it SI, system integrators. I mean, I consider Kyle a true consultant. And what's interesting about his journey that I can really relate a lot with is that he's been in this space for a long period of time. Especially with UKG, he's used it as a customer, number one, And then he's been able to go through every iteration of it. And then now the fact that he's here now at Predictive, when he's talking to you, he's been through your journey. He's experienced it. And he's leveraged it not only just from a consultant perspective, but as a client. So when he transfers that over to you, it's with those years of practical experience. It's a different experience. It's a different game from the client's perspective. So you've been working with these systems for over 10 years now. So what would you say from your perspective, Kyle, when you are talking to clients every single day? I believe whatever you do, there's always like 3 or 4 consistent commonalities or roadblocks that you see with the clients that you work with. What do you typically see when you're working with clients in those consistencies, and what are typically like the eye-opening moments for them when you start to work with them? We're like, oh, okay, wow, I didn't realize that I could do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, roadblocks, I would say definitely staying consistent with our action items and tasks at hand. I always make sure that whenever we're going through a call, I'm writing down our action items and then I reiterate them before our call ends. And in addition to that, it's keeping that recap email with detailing what exactly we need to get accomplished, focusing in on deadlines and timelines. And that seems to be, if we're not staying on task with that, if we're not focused on, okay, well, we need to get this accomplished by, next Friday, and something comes up, or, oh, we forgot, because we know that, our clients and customers, like I went through, you're going through a project with us, but also they have their day-to-day operations in HR and recruiting and everything, so they have to go through that as well. So there might be some challenges along the way, and I think it's just keeping, being available for communication, keeping a good consistency going with our calls and our status calls with my entire team, keeping that raid log, keeping track of those action and issues and risks that we might have along the way. So I think those are kind of the biggest things regarding roadblocks, and how we can maintain it. Just good communication, either verbally or electronically. So
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think one of the things that I've heard about you from a lot of the clients is just here internally, as a trusted advisor, is from more of a proactive perspective, since obviously you've done this for a while. What do you think are a couple different things that everybody that you work with that you bring top of mind that maybe they weren't thinking through? They're kind of like those aha moments where instead of them, saying, "Hey, Kyle, I got this challenge," you're making the recommendations to them for them to be able to streamline the aspect of the software.
sure, absolutely. So specifically with like recruiting or maybe even onboarding too, I've worked with a couple of clients recently that didn't have UKG before, and what they were using was just like paper for onboarding, bringing somebody in person to do a background screening, and through anything else that's related to sign all these forms here and there. And with onboarding, you're taking that away because you can assign someone a username and password to log in and complete an application, and you can integrate your background screening provider with recruiting, so you can take care of that with a couple of clicks. And then after they get hired, you send them over to the onboarding portal with the same login, and those forms that were previously paper are now electronic. So everything that you fill out is done either on a phone, probably most of the time nowadays, right, without a computer, but on the phone, and signatures, getting your W-4s done for taxes and direct deposits, and I-9s for e-verify. All of that gets done, in the onboarding platform. So you don't have to click away, log into another portal, log into another website. It's all done one particular spot. So I just think the consistency there of just staying in there and getting everything done a little bit quicker too. So it's done on, like I said, on your phones. So
Love that. Love that. And then what we always like to talk about on this that I think is really beneficial, and I know is to you, it's like I always like to talk about, situations that I've been in, and then I think other people can relate to them. Like let's talk like recently about like a situation you had with a client where, they came over to us and they were dealing either in a stuck state or they were in a situation where they were in a roadblock. Where did they come in? How did you help address that? And then how do we help get them over the finish line?
sure, absolutely. So another module that I'm certified in, not champion yet, pending, I guess, is
It's coming. I know.
is the HR service delivery document manager and people assist. And that's one of my favorite ones. It's very complex. It's a digital filing system where you can, maintain all of your employee folders and files all in one area. And then on the other side, you're dealing with creating request workflows and processes, again, all done digitally. So the biggest step in there is just identifying, working with a client, we were doing like an offboarding process. Okay. And, they had this giant list of process tasks that went out. So IT needed to do this, and recruiting needed to post the position when this employee resigned, and payroll need to take care of the final payroll and everything. So there was a tons of different tasks that we had to put in forth with this process template. And just coming together, realizing what we can do in the people assist system, how we can transfer these tasks so they can all get sent out and initiated, and they can be completed in a timely manner. So yeah, that's something that I pay more. I remember mostly was that offboarding process that had probably about 50 items to do, and we
Yeah.
knocked it out.
And that's awesome, man. That's
Yep.
cool. Well, we always like to like kind of close these out with why. I always ask everybody, why should somebody do business with Predictive HR? Because there's a lot of choices out there.
Sure.
But from your experience, what would you say to the audience today if they're watching this and they're thinking like, okay, I got to look for maybe to find a partner? Why Predictive HR?
So this is my first. Consulting organization that I've been a part of. I've learned a lot. I've been a part of an excellent team. I know a lot of my team members during these have mentioned, the people, and I can't. I can't argue that. That's 100% confirmed. Our project managers, my directors, they're always available for the clients. They're available for our internal staff. I think we have a pretty good method of how we put our customers and clients first, and how we want to make sure that everything out of the project is accomplished to the best of our abilities. So, even if we have roadblocks in the way, we find alternatives, and we move forward and we accomplish those. So I do think that if you're looking for a team that puts our clients and our customers first, and always keeps our communication available, that's Predictive HR.
100%. I think that's very well said. And again, I think the collaboration, and I don't think we have silos here, which I think in a lot of
Right.
organizations, it's broken out in all these different areas. And the level of, I guess, commitment, and also being able to step in for somebody as life happens. And with all the talk now, like different places that are great places to work or whatever, I think even internally here, we do have that culture, like what's the next person up to be able to support
Yes.
somebody and whatever they have going on. So yeah, we appreciate you taking the time, Kyle. I mean, again, super excited to be here on the team with you, and what you continue to do, and you continue to grow every single day. So Kyle Gatz, everybody, again, he's one of our UK team of champions here at Predictive HR. So we hope you enjoy watching these every single week. I can tell by the amount of people in the comments that I get, the people watching, that you do. We want to continue to provide valuable content here. If there's anything that maybe even that Kyle talked about here today that you would love to have additional information on, or something that you would like to see on the Predictive Powwow that can help you, we're more than open to be able to do that for you. So anyway, I'm Jeff Bounds, and this is
Kyle Gatz.
And we appreciate you jumping on the Predictive Powwow, and we'll see you next week. Take care.